Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Nicolas Porcelli, welcoming you to another Monday edition of FSU Weather. So right now we're taking a live look at Doak Campbell Stadium. As you can see, there's some pretty big dark clouds on our horizon. That's associated with a front that I'm going to show you that's coming up right now. But the main story today was the hot temperatures and muggy conditions that we had here in Tallahassee at 82 degrees. Even with these clouds, it was very unbearable weather. And at least we had a slight breeze from the south-southeast. So this is some of that rain that I was talking about that is bringing that cloud cover over Tallahassee. Most of that rain is going to stay over in southern Georgia and won't affect, and we won't get any precipitation until later on tonight and tomorrow. As for tonight, it will be partly cloudy with cooler temperatures at 67 and a slight breeze from the south-southwest at 5 miles per hour. And tomorrow is when we expect those thunderstorms to come, and it will remain hot at 80 degrees. As for our headlines, we are going to talk about the severe weather that is incoming to the southeast and the spring snow in the west, as well as the flood risks across the United States. All that and more tonight on FSU Weather. Currently forecasted to hit the Midwest, but right now actually looking at our live cams from Iowa City, from Dallas, and from Tulsa, it's actually looking pretty beautiful. So if you are out in the Midwest right now, I would say to go out today if you have any activities that you want to do, because this weekend is definitely going to be not so good conditions to go outside. So as you can see, the SPC storm outlook for day 2 has most of the Midwest, most of the Great Plains, in non-severe to marginal risk, while parts of Kansas and Nebraska from Omaha down to Wichita are under a slight risk from the SPC, meaning that there will be expected some severe thunderstorms, especially in that region. And as for the SPC damaging wind probability, meaning that they expect there to be winds of over 59 miles per hour, especially in the regions of Kansas between Topeka and Wichita. There's about a 15% probability of severe winds. And for the rest, all the way from Dallas to Omaha, there's about a 5% probability of these damaging winds chance. So now you can see here we have our radar basically overlapped with our CAPE forecast. And here you can see that there's actually a lot of CAPE available. So what that means, CAPE stands for convectively available potential energy, and what that tells us is the amount of fuel that is available for these storms to grow and become severe. So now you would think with all this CAPE here in the Midwest, in the Great Plains, you would think that a lot of severe weather will pop up on the radar, but that's not the case, because there's actually a lot of SIN, or CAP, which is convective inhibition, that is not allowing these thunderstorms to grow because they're not able to surpass the energy needed to break the cap. Now, as for the rainfall forecasts that we have for the Great Plains, Topeka has about an inch of rain expected to fall. Omaha, a little bit less than an inch at 0.78. Hastings at 0.73. And a little bit farther south, they expect some less precipitation. Late October, we're entering that final stretch of the Atlantic hurricane season. Hurricane season ends on November 30th. And it's definitely no chance to keep your guard down, because for the first time in a couple weeks, the Atlantic Basin actually is showing some activity right now. And as we're looking at the Atlantic Basin right now, so all that moisture is kind of concentrated right here in the western Atlantic, all the way from Venezuela all the way up to the northeast. Right here back where we are right here in Florida, there's actually a high pressure system keeping this moisture and low pressure off our coast right now. And actually you can notice here, this is the little cold front that passed by right here. It's actually bringing some dry air into the region. But the two areas of concern we're looking at right now are right here down in the southern Caribbean, and right here in the sort of Bermuda Triangle area. And the first disturbance we're looking at has a 40% chance of development over the next 48 hours and 50% chance development over the next 5 days. And the second disturbance we're looking at here right above Venezuela has a 0% chance of development in the next 48 hours, but a 40% chance of development in the next 5 days. So as we can see here, the Caribbean region is very warm. Sea surface temperatures are very conducive for development for this disturbance right here in the southern Caribbean, but the one in the north is going to encounter some colder waters, so it might not be that conducive for development for disturbance number 1. But disturbance number 2 definitely sees a path towards strengthening right here. And we're looking at our water vapor imagery. As I said earlier, there's a lot of dry air being pushed into that moisture right here in the Caribbean. So that's definitely going to limit the development of disturbance number 2 right here below Puerto Rico, because as it interacts with this dry air, it's not going to be able to strengthen as it would. For our current radar, we do not, this is just some backscatter, perhaps maybe some bats are coming out tonight to celebrate Halloween, but there's not really any precipitation that we anticipate for tonight. Temperatures as well, it's actually looking really nice, and no tricks tonight because this sunset is a real treat. We got beautiful skies right here, and honestly the spooky weather spirits have blessed us with some great weather for tonight. We have another edition of FSU Weather in Spanish. This time we're going to be taking a look at the state of Florida. Buenas tardes, Tallahassee. Yo soy estudiante meteorólogo Nicolas Porcelli y en esta edición de FSU Weather en español vamos a darle un paseo al estado de la Florida. El radar del momento demuestra que no tenemos mucha actividad de precipitación por la mayoría del estado. Solo tenemos unas lluvias pasajeras viniendo desde el Atlántico y trayendo unas lluvias ligeras. Para acercándose a Pensacola pueden ver que es un día muy lindo, cielos muy despejados con una temperatura de 74 y una brisa desde el este a 10 millas por hora. Va a ser una linda atardecer para caminar la playa. Para el radar del Panhandle, como demuestran nuestras imágenes en vivo, pueden ver que no hay mucha actividad de precipitación. La única precipitación que vemos es aquí en el oeste por Jacksonville y Daytona. Ahora,